This episode, if I were to say where it ranks, at least in this season, it's definitely one of the lowest. It isn't because it is a terrible episode and all this and that. It's because, to be fair, a lot of stuff is going on in the background. We have the stuff with Crosshair, we have the stuff with Echo and Rex, we have the clones that are being turned into, well, assassins, or death troopers, I guess would be accurate. And then we have, well, what happened to Cody, Wolf. We have so many things in the background that, yeah, this episode kind of suffers because people would just want to get to the meet and greet of the episode. And you would think this would be filler, but the problem is this is a two-part to last episode, which was an important episode. But that can be on its own video of why that episode is an important for Omega. Anyway, for this episode, I'll just sum it up this. We have this one character, Benny, basically delivering the ship that he stole from the Bad Batch to his boss, Marco. And yeah, the Bad Batch are kind of looking for their ship. Omega comes up with the idea that, well, the almighty Gonk droid that they have is basically on the ship, so they can use that to track him, rather than what would have been interesting is having Sid try to save them, considering that she hasn't done shit for them. But I'll get to that. We have them find Benny, basically force him to help them sneak into the factory. We have more of other side characters having their stuff going around. So this is more of a Bad Batch is a secondary stuff, with Benny's story arc being that probably this is the only episode he's in, kind of going into fruition, being one of the guys who are scavengers, grab shit, bring it, so that way they can get money, dig, like, you know, the typical worker stuff. And yeah, they're basically all trying to get, well, food. The best one gets the best food, and everyone else gets one water portion. Anyway, so we do have this interesting thing where Omega does befriend him and stuff and gives him her rations to show kindness, which shows Omega is a very kind-hearted character, a very good person. If I were to sum this up and compare, Omega is Ahsoka, season 2, I want to say Ahsoka, a good-hearted Ahsoka, basically. Someone who wants to see the good of everyone. Yeah, there's some people she'll see just pure evil, so it's basically a child. She's written as a child. Good, evil, light, and darkness. The gray areas is she's starting to slowly get, but it's not there yet. We do have the Bad Batch, obviously, Record trying to say, oh, we're with Marco once they got caught, and then Hunter kind of changes the plan from that, which, okay. They do have a confrontation with Marco. Benny does betray them for now until he realizes the truth that, yeah, Marco's been stuffing his damn face with food and just giving them portions because he's a fucking greedy asshole. And, well, Omega is captured, and she's basically used as leverage, which doesn't fucking work. If anything, Hunter is able to save her. She puts his full trust into Hunter, and then all the children basically go off on Marco, and Marco gets himself killed. With Omega and Tech having a talk about, yeah, the Empire is evil, but there's still more bad people that aren't even related to the Empire, as well as other people that's like them trying to survive. So this episode definitely is slow. You could say it's filler, but in reality they had to get their ship, otherwise how the hell can they continue on the story? So it's not necessarily filler, it's just trying to buy another episode of character development, if you want to say the least. Now, I did mention something related to Sid, is that I'm starting to think Marco works his workers, treats them okay to a degree, and he basically hugs all obviously the food in this case, and in the case of what I'm thinking is, throughout this season, at least when it comes down to that one pod racing-like episode, they mentioned to the Bad Batch that Sid shouldn't be trusted. I'm starting to think that it is possible that Marco is basically a very extreme version of Sid. This might be the episode where, just as Benny and the others realize that they're being cheated on, the Bad Batch might realize that Sid's cheating them off of, well, a possibility for them to finally have a good life. As Season 1 was them on the run, Season 2 is for them to work hard enough to give Omega a good life, not a life of running away, trying to work hard to get some food. Basically, adult stuff. trying to make sure the kid has a good life. So I believe that, assuming that the next episode doesn't just derail this theory, is that they might actually start slowly pulling away from Sid. Sid might do something, considering that she shouldn't be trusted. So we must keep an eye on Sid. She might not be worth working under.